The husband says lovingly, honey, this is our 8th child. I'm sure this time everything will be fine. Just then a boy comes running down the street and accidentally bumps into the pregnant woman. The man looks at the boy and says angrily, can't you see that my wife is pregnant? You need to be more careful when you're running around. The boy apologizes sincerely. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to hurt you. The woman says gently, it's okay. You're still a kid. Just be more careful when you're walking on the street. Some money falls out of the woman's hand and lands on the ground. The boy quickly picks it up and asks politely, ma'am, is this your money? The woman says gratefully, thank you, sweetheart. Then the woman looks closely at the jade pendant around the boy's neck and becomes shocked. She thinks to herself, this pendant looks so familiar. It looks exactly like the pendant my boss wears. Could it be that? The boy hands her the money and says politely, here you go, ma'am. This is your money. The woman says warmly, thank you, sweetheart. Good people like you are becoming harder and harder to find these days. The boy says politely, there's no need to thank me. I need to get home anyway, so I should go now. The woman stops him and asks curiously, son, that pendant around your neck is beautiful. Where did you get it? The boy answers honestly, my mom gave it to me. If there's nothing else, I should get going. The woman quietly follows the boy and eventually finds his mother. The boy says happily, Mom, I'm home. The mother says lovingly, son, I'm heading to work. After school, go straight back to the dorm and finish your homework. I'll make you something to eat when I get off work. The boy says obediently, okay, Mom. The mother says gently, good, go ahead. Then Sophia calls her boss and says urgently, boss, I found the woman you've been searching for all these years. The boss asks in shock, what? Where is she? Sophia says quickly, she's standing in the garden across from our company. The boss says immediately, stay right there. I'm coming now. After the boss arrives, Sophia points toward the woman and says, she's right over there. The boss looks at her carefully and says emotionally, it really is her. Just then, the boy's mother receives a call from his teacher. The woman answers politely, hello, teacher. The teacher asks seriously, are you David's mother? What's going on with his tuition? His school fees haven't been paid for 2 months. The woman says embarrassedly, I'm sorry, teacher. Could you please give me 2 more days? I'm working as hard as I can to come up with the money. I promise I'll pay the tuition within 2 days. The teacher says firmly, okay, I'll give you 2 more days, but if the tuition isn't paid within 2 days, he'll have to leave the school. The boss says to his secretary, bring me everything I've kept for her in the 3rd drawer of my desk all these years. The secretary says respectfully, yes, boss. The boss walks over to the cleaner and asks gently, do you recognize me? The woman says apologetically, I'm sorry, but I don't think we've ever met before. The boss asks emotionally, have you really forgotten me? 10 years ago, you helped a homeless man and gave him some money. The boss takes the pendant from around his neck and shows it to her, saying, and you gave me this pendant back then as a keepsake. The woman remembers the past. 10 years earlier, the woman is walking along the sidewalk when she sees a homeless man lying on the ground. She asks concernedly, why are you sleeping on the sidewalk? The homeless man says sadly, I've been hungry for several days. I haven't been able to find anything to eat, so I fell asleep while thinking about food. The woman takes some money from her purse and says kindly, here, take this money. Use some of it to buy yourself food, and use whatever is left to find a safe place to sleep. The homeless man says quickly, no, I can't take this money. The woman says gently, please, take it. It's okay. I'm giving it to you willingly. The homeless man accepts the money and says gratefully, thank you so much. When I start making money someday, I'll definitely repay your kindness. The woman says warmly, there's no need for you to repay me. She takes a pendant from her purse and says, keep this as a keepsake. If we ever meet again someday, we can recognize each other by this pendant. I should get going now. Back in the present, the woman looks at the boss in shock and says, oh, so it was you. The boss smiles emotionally and says, after all these years, we finally meet again. If you hadn't helped me back then, I wouldn't be where I am today. The cleaner says modestly, it was just a small act of kindness. Just then, the secretary walks over and says apologetically, boss, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Here's the bank card with $2 million and the paperwork for the villa. Please take care of them. The boss says calmly, okay, you can go now and get back to work. Then the boss turns toward the woman and asks sincerely, would you be willing to spend the rest of your life with me? The woman looks at him in disbelief and says nervously, don't joke like that. Today, you're a successful businessman and a wealthy company owner while I'm just a cleaner. The boss says seriously, if you hadn't helped me 10 years ago, I don't even know where I would be today. If you're willing to accept me, I want you to be my life partner. We can support each other and spend the rest of our lives together. The woman says hesitantly, but I'm only a cleaner. I'm not good enough for you, and I have a child. The boss says sincerely, why are you talking about whether you're good enough? I don't care about your wealth or social status. I care about your kindness and your character, and I'll treat your child like my own.